Welcome back, gamers, to yet another Gamer Jooce episode. In this video, 10 things you need to know before buying Rainbow Six Siege. Let's get into it. Number 10, background. What makes Rainbow Six Siege brilliantly stand out among powerful first-person shooter games like Call of Duty is its gameplay. No matter how much Rainbow Six Siege has changed and evolved over the years, it never lost sight of what makes it incredible and stuck to its core. It's no wonder that since 2015, when the game was first released, that it recently reached over 60 million players worldwide. After the previous Rainbow Six Siege Patriots was cancelled, Siege was developed and became Ubisoft's golden child. Number 9, lore. Before we dive deeper into the facts about Rainbow Six Siege, we're going to dig further into the lore behind this phenomenal game. Most of what we know is from cutscenes, the official website, and short excerpts. Siege follows the events of the previous Tom Clancy titles. The original team was brought together by the character Six, and fun fact, Six is voiced by the Academy Award nominated Angel Bassett. In Siege, our beloved characters have gathered to fight the threat known as the White Masks. Number 8, gameplay. Now that we have the basics in the background, the first thing anyone wants to know about a game is how the gameplay goes. There are two words to describe Rainbow Six Siege, and they are destruction and chaos. First and foremost, Siege is a tactical shooter with a heavy focus on narrative. This is a game that largely rewards strategies and clever snap decisions. You'll need to carefully but quickly think through every single move before you perform it. Next up is teamwork. We cannot stress enough how imperative working with your team is. There's nothing more satisfying than victory after a well-coordinated maneuver or attack. In Rainbow Six Siege, nothing and no one is safe. Not even walls can protect you. And that's what makes it so fun and intense. You can breach anywhere, you can rappel up. The game offers a sandbox style that gives you full permission to use your environment to your advantage. Now, there are two ways you can play in Rainbow Six Siege. The first and most popular is multiplayer. Multiplayer is an exhilarating, tense, high-speed experience that divides the players into two teams, attackers and defenders. You start off with the preparation step that lets teams choose which operators they want to choose and where to deploy. And there, you're all ready for the intense rounds. Rounds usually last a few minutes, feeding into the high-stakes feeling Siege gives to every player. If you're a little confused about how attackers and defenders work, this next point will explain it all. Number 7, multiplayer modes. The game is split into two major plays. You have the PvP and PvE. The PvE features the solo mode, which is coming up next, and the terrorist hunt. The terrorist hunt has you and your team battling challenging AI targets and completing objectives. PvP is based on 5v5 team play. The multiplayer portion of Rainbow Six Siege features 3 modes. The first is the bomb mode. New players are actually encouraged to experiment with the bomb mode first to get a feel for the best parts of the game. During this mode, there are 2 bombs, A and B, that are hidden and protected by the defender's team and can usually be found in 2 close rooms. Attackers must find and defuse the bombs. On the other side, defenders are tasked with killing the attackers and protecting the bomb. If the attackers succeeded in planting the diffuser, defenders can still win by destroying it. Next up is the hostage mode. Now, this is a little harder. The objective revolves around a hostage. Attackers are tasked with extracting the hostage while defenders try their best to keep them inside until the time ends or kill the defenders. Be careful, for hostages can be injured. If so, the opposing team will win. Lastly, there's the secure area mode. A biohazard container is the objective. Attackers try to secure it while defenders try to protect it. Whether you're a newcomer or have played Siege for years, no two matches are the same. Number 6, solo mode. There's a lot of focus on multiplayer gameplay, but a solo mission can be just as fun for those who seek solitude in the destruction Siege offers. There isn't a typical solo campaign, but there are 10 missions called situations. Situations are more like practice, allowing you to perfect being both an attacker and a defender. Completing a situation successfully gives you points and renown. The goddess Angela Bassett herself will give you instructions. The AI opponent in the PvE gameplay is smarter than ever. It will adapt to your actions in the game and provide a challenging experience. Number 5, characters and relationships. Siege features unique characters. Each of his or her own set of powerful skills and will make an invaluable member of the team. For example, there are dedicated breachers like Thermite, Hibana, or Ace. Pulse is a defender who has a gadget that can detect enemy heartbeats. Sledge is an attacker with a Thor-esque sledgehammer that can annihilate balls. Operator relationships aren't just for character depth and likability to the players. They can be really useful to know. For example, we have Polish Zofia and Ella, who are actually sisters. If players on the same team choose them, they get bonuses for interacting with one another. On the other hand, if Zofia and Ella happen to be on opposing teams, a sibling rivalry bonus is given whenever they kill each other. They're not the only characters who are familiar with each other. Thermite and Habana are friends. Doc and Leon share a violent history and a mutual dislike. Character backstory can be explored further. Number 4, in-game purchases. You should know that while Rainbow Six Siege does slightly nudge its players to spend real-life money, anything that's purchased doesn't affect the game. So that's great in terms of not dividing the players into who's willing to get out their wallets and go a little out of the way for a new skin. Siege has 2 kinds of currency. The first is the free one called Renown. Renown can be earned during the gameplay and is given to you at the end of matches. Every mode hands out Renown differently, but ranked matches especially dole out the largest amounts. You can earn extra Renown by completing challenges in-game. Next up is the game's currency, credits. Credits are purchased with real money. However, they only offer admittedly cool weapon skins. Ultimately, they're more for aesthetic and again, don't affect the gameplay. A little tip if you want to take advantage of everything Siege has to offer. You can purchase an annual operator pass that gives you access to elite uniforms and such. A season pass will grant you extra credits, a renown boost, and exclusive weapon skins. Number 3, gadgets. Gadgets are the ultimate agent of chaos in Siege. They are one of the most important parts of Siege. The very first step in Siege is using a drone to get an inside look at your objective. Now, gadgets include anything from surveillance cameras to operator gadgets. Breach gadgets, for example, are used on walls and floors to allow you to trap your opponents. A mute signal disruptor can disable any electronic gadgets in its range, which is invaluable. Defenders can use gadgets to slow down or prevent an attack. Attackers will have gadgets specifically designed to help them break in, and that includes reconnaissance equipment and weaponry. Defenders get gadgets more focused on armor for defending their base, medical abilities, and cool stuff like signal disruptors to overpower the attacker's intel equipment. A mat from Frost will trap your enemies and basically hand you a free kill on a silver platter. While gadgets are an extra secret weapon in your arsenal, real weapons are the ultimate game winners. You won't go through a round without having to fire at least once. Siege weapons are incredibly satisfying and one of the best in all first-person shooter games. Take the marksman rifle, for example, that can take down an enemy in one accurate shot. Number 2, consoles. If you're thinking of buying Rainbow Six Siege, you're probably wondering what you can use to play it. Rainbow Six Siege has always been available for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. In 2020, Siege will be expanding to the next console generation and offering a free next-gen upgrade for PS5 and Xbox Series X. You don't necessarily need to expand with them because Ubisoft is offering cross-gen multiplayer so players all around can still enjoy this incredible game. Number 1, Shadow Legacy Update. Lastly, we have the most recent news. If you're buying Rainbow Six Siege in 2020, you should know that the Shadow Legacy is the newest update to Siege, and it's absolutely glorious. Since Rainbow Six Siege was released in 2015, it went through extensive overhauls. Every update adds extra maps, new operator characters, weapons, seasonal events, and new modes. This time, we're getting a reworked map, max replay modes, a revamped ping system, and other reworks like for the character Tachanka. If you're familiar with Tom Clancy's titles, you'll be happy to know that this new update will also bring the fan favorite and the previous protagonist of Splinter Cell, the powerful Sam Fisher. Sam Fisher is bringing home gifts with him on the squad of counterterrorism elite, Thermite, Cabana, and Ace won't be the only breacher. Sam's gadgets is the exciting Argus. The Argus is a launcher that can control up to 4 cameras from a distance. These cameras can drill through surfaces, fire lasers that can damage players, and destroy other gadgets. Sam will also come with a powerful rifle. Alrighty gamers, we really hope you enjoyed that list because that's going to wrap it up for this one. And we hope you enjoyed it enough to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell because we are always releasing new content. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.